There's something that I've been curious of ever since I did my one item summon Necro going through Uber Tristram to get a torch. How powerful is the other summon build? Granted, this time I won't be testing out the capabilities of it without gear. Yet. In today's video, I'm going to go over the build for the endgame magic finding Druid summon build, letting the whole zoo loose upon Sanctuary. I'm going to go over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear for my character and my mercenary, and afterwards I'm going to show you guys some gameplay so you could see this build in action. But do keep in mind that when it comes to this build, there are different ways you can be able to gear the character depending on your needs, whether you're trying to go for maximum DPS, you're trying to do a magic find character, or a hybrid of the two. Just keep in mind when it comes to looking at the gear choices that I'm going to be choosing, that you can choose alternative gear depending on the demand that you have for your build. Before we actually get into the build, the comment shout out for this video is going to be Mr. and Mrs. Plinky Gaming, whom found a 4015 jewel in cows while it was terrorized. I cannot wait to see what you're going to use this with. The drop highlight is on their channel. Make sure to go check it out. Now let's go ahead and get into the video. For the attributes, we're going for a max vitality setup, meaning we have enough points into strength to be able to equip the gear, and the remaining points are put into vitality, nothing into energy. For the skill trees, we're going to start with the summoning skill tree. We are going down the middle, working our way to summon Grizzly, with 1 point initially into Raven, then maxing Spirit Wolf, Dire Wolf, and then summon Grizzly. As both of the wolves and the bear synergize one another, while the ravens don't synergize them, but are boosted from all three. From there, it's your choice on what you would like to focus on. More damage with maxing out Heart of the Wolverine, or your health and survivability with maxing out Oak Sage, depending on the rest of the demand that you have with your build. For the shapeshifting skill tree, because we are wanting to help out our summons, one of the best ways to be able to help with crowd control is to be able to use Shockwave, putting at least 1 point into all of its prerequisites. This will help with stunning most enemies that aren't champions, the boss of a boss pack, or super uniques including quest-related enemies or act bosses. The more points that you put into Shockwave, the longer the stun length, giving your summons more chances to kill them. All of my remaining points were put into Ravens because having Oak Sage maxed out was more important as I'm level 90 and don't have all the hard points I can get within the game yet. And at the level that Ravens is currently at, they still do quite a bit of damage with 46 hits until they die. So the loss of hits and some damage is more than being made up for to be able to increase their survivability. There are no points into the elemental skill tree, because with the gear and the mercenary that we will use, as well as any alternatives that we may look at for different helpful aspects of this build, we don't need any points invested into it. Speaking of gear, so much of what you'll see focuses on plus to skills. We need as much as we can get to be able to boost our overall damage potential, as well as survivability with our minions. Starting from the top, we have Jalal's main for the plus to skills, faster hit recovery, help with resistances, and everything else this item has. I socketed it with an rune for more resistances, to ensure that they will be high enough once we test out the build. For the amulet, I'm using my Druid Summoning Skills 220 Crafted Caster Amulet. If you see my crafting guide for caster amulets, you know how I felt when this rolled. So for this build guide, I will use it to say I did at least once. However, the most ideal amulet to use would be Amara's for the plus to skills, some help with attributes, and the all res. An alternative could be Saracen's Chance for its boost to attributes and all res as well. The body armor's Enigma for being able to get around faster, both with using teleport and its increased faster run walk, as well as a huge boost to strength, some magic find, and everything else that makes his body armor OP. The weapon is Beast for the Fanaticism aura to help boost not only our own attacks, but to boost our summons and mercenaries as well. And on top of that, the IAS boost is very helpful as well. The shield is a spirit shield for the plus to skills, help with resistances, boost to vitality, and a large amount of mana. The boots are Ethereal Samsor Trex for its good boost to strength and life, as well as some additional faster hit recovery and some faster run walk. The first ring is an FCR ring with fire res. The belt is Arachnid's Mesh for the plus to skills and faster cast rate. The second ring is a BK ring for plus to skills. The gloves are Trang's gloves for faster cast rate and some help with cold resistance. On Switch, I'm using the standard CTA and Spirit combo to increase life for myself, my mercenary, and for the zoo we will have. My goal for this build was to be able to hit the 99 FCR breakpoint for teleporting around in human form to be able to play this build a little bit easier when it comes to moving around, all while not sacrificing clear speed and still having a decent amount of magic find. In the inventory, we have our cube, 2 tomes, torch, Annie, and all the grand charms are summoning skillers, with the one on the end being a Geats. And the small charms can be a variety of things, depending on what the demands are for your build. But life, faster hit recovery, or resistances are the most ideal to use. However, I'm using 7% magic find small charms to be able to add a little bit more MF to this build. If you're focusing on magic finding, there are some items that you can swap out, but some will come at the cost of plus to skills. For example, You could swap out for a Shaco socketed with a perfect Topaz for quite a boost to Magic Find, and you still get some plus to skills, as well as a boost to life with some damage reduction. You could change out one of the rings, or even both, for Nagel rings that have up to 30% Magic Find. The Arachnid's Mesh can be swapped out for Gold Wrap, and you can add even more 7% Magic Find small charms to your inventory. These are just some examples, but again, take into consideration that changing these items around for Magic Find can reduce your survivability depending on the extent for which you swap out the plus to skill items for Magic Find. For the Mercenary, there are a few different options you can take into consideration. The Act 2 Mercenary is ideal. You can choose the Mercenary with either the Might Aura for more damage overall with your Zoo, or for crowd control and safety, you can choose the one that has Holy Freeze, with the helmet being Andariel's Visage socketed with either a Ral Rune, or in this case, a Jewel with Fire Res. The body armor is Fortitude, and the weapon choice can be a few different things. Using Pride will be great to be able to help boost your damage output even more. You can run with a Reaper's Toll for Stegrepify proc, as well as it'll still do quite a bit of damage. Now that we've discussed the attributes, the skill trees, the gear for my character and my Mercenary, let's go ahead and check out this build in action to see how well it actually plays out. With this example in the Chaos Sanctuary, I wanted to be able to focus on how the actual playstyle is going to look when it comes to you being in Werebear form and using Shockwave to be able to stun everything for your summons and your Mercenary to be able to get the kills. You transform into Werebear form, having your health at or around 5,000 with the help of Oak Sage, and you just start using Shockwave to be able to make everything stunned around you to be able to again give your summons a chance to be able to make the kills. This build's strength is being able to actually telestomp and target a single enemy to be able to use all the damage from all the summons and your Mercenary to be able to take them out very easily. Unfortunately, once they separate, their damage is not going to be significant enough to be able to have a very fast clear speed. However, this is not the slowest build in the game, but you are reliant on your Mercenary and your summons to do most of the work for you. Like I mentioned earlier, this is best used when it comes to fighting a single target because then you get the advantage of all the different summons damage being able to work together to be able to take down whatever it is you're fighting. And in this case with Diablo, he was able to go down within a few seconds, showing just how effective this build can be when it comes to your summons and your Mercenary working together to take on one target. For any of you guys that want to try out this build but don't have all the endgame gear needed to be able to play it, make sure to stay tuned for one of my upcoming videos where I go over a budgeted version of this build that primarily focuses on using Nightmare specific gear and is still able to wreck many areas of the game. So make sure you stay tuned to be able to check out that video coming up very soon. And that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to see if this build would be something that you would be interested in going into the future, and if anything, at least just enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content, want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on then. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.